Alright, what's going on, guys? So, I just made a Euro USD post on where I believe what we could be seeing for the next upcoming week. This is my predictions. Like, again, not predictions, but what I'm seeing in the market for this upcoming week for AUDUSD. Typically, these markets move pretty similar. They're not exactly the same because they have a different pair attached to the US dollar, but typically they are very similar in how they play out and how they decide to move long term. So, again, let's look at the weekly because we want to see what the week ended like. So, we've been really dropping, right? This is important to know. For me, we were in an uptrend on the weekly, right? We broke structure, higher highs and higher lows. We kind of consolidated. Then we had another break of structure, creating our overall highest high. And then market just dropped for a very long time and closed beneath our higher low. Now on the weekly, we are very bearish. Um, okay, so the past couple weeks have been interesting because we dropped. We didn't really hit this month though. We were very close, but again, within the vicinity. And then we had this rise up to my daily level. Typically on the weekly, it doesn't treat lower time frame levels that well, but still it's good to know because we had support right here, resistance, resistance, support, and again, we are seeing that again. So we had that engulfing above our weekly level, our weekly zone, but we had a long wick. And then this week we had a very long wick, right? We came all the way up to these highs once again over in September 17th and 24th. We had the wick up, and then we closed beneath this level. We closed very exhausted, right? Very long wick. Now, that's good to know on the weekly. On the daily, what I'm seeing is that we're obviously in a downtrend. We see these lower lows, lower highs being formed over and over and over again. And I think we've just created our lower low, right? We had that W, that bottom, and then we had that rise up. And this is what's interesting to me. We had that rise up to 100% with the wicks. Bodies are a little closer to 88.6. We had that channel, right? We had multiple touches prior. And then on the bottom, it's respected pretty well. Now, in this downtrend, typically when a Fibonacci for me is retraced to 100 to 88.6 within this vicinity, we see the extension to 0 or 14.6, which is in confluence with our monthly, and it's not really close to the channel, but within the vicinity. And we're in a downtrend, so that's really good to know as well. Now, when we drop down to the 4 hour, actually, before I go down, the past 3 days are interesting. So we had that rise up, long wick, another wick to our highs, and this channel, and then we had a very bearish engulfing of these past 2 days. On the 4 hour, I think we're going to be able to see a little better of these moves. So on the 4 hour, I have it a little more long term with our trend. Right, we have the lower lows and lower highs being formed, and then this was something I wanted to point out for those of you who are actually watching and learning from this. When you take the extension from here, I take it from body to body. So this body to this extension. The reason this wasn't a lower low, lower high, lower low, is because, where was it? Okay, that's exactly what I was looking at. Okay, so we have this lower high, and then we have the extension. And then when we have the pullback, we see that only wicks have come up to 78.6 and the bodies are a little below. So I think minimum we should extend to, orange to orange, or if you want to call this yellow or whatever, we should see that. When we get that first extension, we never even reach 78.6. But then we get a pullback to that weekly zone. So I think for a lot of people in the moment, this could have been like, okay, we're close to it. This is our lower low. And now people see that pullback and they see a lower low. And then obviously for some people this would be the break of structure. But when you look at it in hindsight, this push never reached our 78.6, which was should have been our extension. When we get the push down, we see that extension play out awesome. So for me, this is my lower low on the 4 hour time frame. Now we're getting a pullback. There we go. we're getting a pullback into our 100% once again, right? And again, what happens when that happens is we usually get an extension from our 0 to 14.6, which would be very close if we close beneath, would be a lower low, and is our monthly support level, which is very important to notice. Now, on the 1 hour, I think we're going to see this a little bit better. For the 1 hour, a very big Elliott wave. So I think for me, I had push number 1 coming down here. Push number 2, which was greater than push number 1, which is a must. We had that. Then we had that very long, slow retracement up to the weekly level, and then push number 5. Typically, when the Elliott wave is done and finished, what we can see is an ABC correction, which is what I'm seeing now, A, B, C. Right? And that's kind of what created our uptrend, because we had lower lows, lower highs, and then break a structure to the upside. And for some people, I think hitting this daily level, we could see price come back up to this weekly. But the reason I don't see that is because of higher time frames, right? We had that 4 hour 100% rejection. We had wicks on the daily, which is another 100% rejection. And then as well, let's see, so that's 4 hour. And then obviously on the 1 hour we're in an uptrend, but on the 15-minute, I see a break of structure just very recently, right? We had that uptrend, higher highs and higher lows being formed, and then we came up here and made an M, closing beneath it, and then even falling down further and closing beneath my higher low. And so now I think we've hit this daily level, which could be good support for price. I could see us pushing up to one of these Fibonacci levels, wherever it may be, extending below the daily level, coming back, and then obviously reaching our overall target, and this is a very long-term trade, down to this monthly, which is about 220 pips away. But I think within the week, what we could see is we could see Sunday, Monday, somewhere around there, reach up here. But I think end of the week, we should start heading down to this weekly zone, which is only about 75 pips, so I could see it happening. And yeah, that's kind of what I see for AUDUSD. Now, again, if you guys love the trading style, love anything, like always, there's contact info in the description. There's a way to reach me, and I also have a Facebook course and community for you guys if you guys are interested in that, where you can combine with the community, see my trading style, the psychology of trading and how I see it, and all that other cool stuff. So everything that you guys need and want will be in the description down below. But thanks again, guys, for watching these videos. I appreciate it.